Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is my final book haul of the year of 2023, and I also have an unboxing, which is really exciting as well. My last book haul was uploaded quite late, but that contained all of the books that I had bought from like June to September, I think, and these are all of the books that I purchased in like the second half of September through to now. So I'm very excited for it. I got a lot of these really cheap as well. I feel like there's been a lot of sales going on, and I decided to do an Amazon purchase, a big purchase as well, because of the Black Friday sales. I wasn't gonna get anything specific from Amazon for Black Friday because like they weren't honestly that good, but all of these books were $5 or under. Some of these books were like $3. Like they were already on my radar, so I decided to get them. It looks like it came in one big box. So let's cut it open and have a look and see what's inside. Okay, I've opened it upside down, but that's okay. Oh my god. Okay, so the first book, this one is called Moon Witch Spider King by Marlon James. Now, this is actually book 2, but this was, I'm pretty sure, like $6, and this is for a hardback as well. And the first one is called Black Leopard Red Wolf, and I had that on my radar like a few years ago, and I never ended up picking it up. I'm not going to read the synopsis because I don't want to spoil myself, but I've heard really good things about this author's writing and this author's work. And so when I saw like the, oh my god, I didn't know there was like another image like of the cover on the hardback. Oh my god, that's so cool. Oh wow, okay, I love that so much. Oh my god, and the mat, okay. Oh yeah, so I know I really want to read this duology, so I thought I get the second book first because it was so cheap, and then I'll get like the first book later on as well, and that way I can like binge it. Oh, okay, so this one I hadn't actually heard of before until I saw it on sale, but this is called The Accidental Pinup by Danielle Jackson. This one is a romance, and it follows Cassie, who does boudoir, I don't know how to say that, but she does boudoir photography, or like classic pinup photography. There's a bunch of things that end up happening and going wrong, and she ends up finding herself in front of the camera instead of behind it. So after she ends up becoming a model and gets in front of the camera, I think her and the photographer end up developing a relationship from there. I'm very excited for this. I quickly looked up reviews on Goodreads for this, and they were pretty positive, and I'm looking forward to reading like a little bit more black romance, just because I feel like I've read like a little bit, but not enough, or not as much as I would like to. And this one sounded really good, and the cover absolutely hooked me. And I think just having like a photographer turned like model, I think that'll be really cool to read about as well. So I picked up Sometime in Summer by Katrina Leno. This one is a YA contemporary, I think, but I've heard really good reviews of it. It's set in a beach town. It's set during the summer as well, which is perfect because it's currently summer here, so this will probably be like a good book for January. And I've also read this book before. I've read that, my books just fell down. I've read Horrid by this author as well, and obviously a very different vibe to this book, but I've just heard lots of really good things about this, and oh my god, it's so pretty as well. I'm really excited about this one. I remember this was on my radar maybe a year or two ago, and I kind of forgot about it until I saw it again. I got The Younger Wife by Sally Hepworth. This one, and I think I've actually already picked up another Sally Hepworth book for also like $4 as well from Kmart, but this one I think is like a thriller or like a mystery sort of book, and I've been on the lookout for thrilling, exciting books because after reading The Housemaid, I loved it so much, and this author is really popular. I've had friends who have read from this author before, and they, like, everyone I've spoken to in person really enjoys this author's work. I'm hoping if I enjoy this author's work, I can pick up her other stuff, because she has like 6 or 7 books out, so she's got a lot, and that means I can read a bit of a backlog if I do like her stuff. But I picked that one up as well, and then I've got a couple more. Let's see. Oh, okay, I picked these ones up at the same time. Next up, I got Sundial by Katrina Ward, and this is like a psychological horror book, and it has a very different cover to the one that I remember seeing a while ago. Yeah, like I said, this is a psychological kind of like twisty horror, and I was looking at reviews and it looks like a lot of people don't particularly like it, but I'm hoping, because it's like a weird horror, if other people don't like it, I'm hoping that means I like it, because that has worked for me in the past with weird horror novels, and so I'm hoping it's the same with this one. This one is about Rob, who fears for her daughters, for Callie, who collects tiny bones and whispers to imaginary friends, for Annie, because she fears what Callie might do to her. Rob sees a darkness in Callie, one that reminds her of the family she left behind, and she decides to take Callie back to her childhood home to Sundial, deep in the Mojave Desert, and there she will be forced to make a terrible choice. Yeah, look, I'm not gonna say I've heard good things about this one, because I haven't, but that is the reason I picked it up, because I do think that this is gonna be right up my alley. I haven't read anything else by this author, but I have seen people talk about this author and enjoy her work, so I'm really excited for this one actually. The final book that I got from that box was White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is like a psychological YA thriller, and this has been on my radar since it came out, and I've just never picked it up for some reason. I have read Tiffany D. Jackson's work before. I read Allegedly. I think this one might be like a paranormal sort of thriller, because it says that Marigold is running from ghosts, and in the synopsis it says like, is it actually a metaphor? Who knows? And I'm assuming it's not, but we'll have to see. But I've heard really good things about this one, and I think it's gonna be good. And like I said before, I am on the lookout for more thrillers, and I am open to YA thrillers as well, so decided to pick that one up. So that is it for the unboxing portion of this video. Now I'm going to be telling you about all of the books that I've picked up recently, either on sale or that I've had on pre-order, or just kind of like on a whim. So first up, I'll let you know what pre-orders have arrived over the past couple of months, and first up is all from the same author. And that is Iron Flame and Fourth Wing. And so I got Fourth Wing. I managed to get the Red Tower like holiday edition, which I'm really happy with. It has the extra chapters from Zayden's point of view. This was so hard to get a hold of, especially in Australia. I managed to pre-order this from Barnes & Noble because I know that it's a US book, and if it comes from the US, it should hopefully be the right edition. But I also ended up pre-ordering from like Mighty Ape and a couple of, well, I didn't pre-order from a couple of other Australian retailers, but other people did. And it turns out that all of their pre-orders got cancelled. And so I'm actually very grateful to have this special edition, because yes, so many pre-orders were cancelled because it was the wrong edition and the publisher kind of fucked up a little bit. So that's not great, but I got the right edition, so I'm very happy with that. But I got that one, and I also got the Australian edition of Fourth Wing, which I pre-ordered months and months ago as well when it was first announced. This one has 7 dragons on the edges instead of the 5 I think that the first printing had, but I'm really happy to finally have a hardcover of that one as well. And then I got Iron Flame, which is just the floppy paperback version, but I like to read from the floppy paperbacks that we get here sometimes. I ended up getting the Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon, and this is book 1 in a brand new series. I got the Waterstones edition. It is so pretty. I love it. I'm really happy I managed to get this, and I'm really excited for it as well, because like, look how beautiful this is. It is gorgeous. And I'm not gonna lie, since this came out, I have heard not great reviews. However, I'm still very excited about reading this because I'm hoping it's something I enjoy, because this is meant to be Star Wars fan fiction, and I think I've said on this channel before that I am not a Star Wars girly in the slightest, so I have no expectations for like what's gonna happen in this, because I'm not going into this being like an established Star Wars fan. This one is a fantasy. I believe it has a bit of romance as well. It follows Taliesin, who was left on the steps of an orphanage as a baby, and all she's ever known is the Hurricane Wars as her people fight for freedom from the tyranny of the Night Emperor. Probably gonna be a little bit generic fantasy, but like I'm okay with that. I feel like all kind of fantasies are like that to an extent, and yeah, I'm still really excited for this one despite the reviews. I'm hoping I like it. Anyway, we'll see. And then some books that I ended up getting for really cheap. I saw these, I think Big W had like a 50% off book sale, and so all of these were like $6, which was just a steal. And so I grabbed a few that I really like the look of, and so I ended up getting first The 100 Lives of Juliet. I just talked about this one in my most recent wrap up, so if you want to know my thoughts on that one, check it out. I gave this 1 star. I'm really glad I didn't pay full price for this, so that's all I'm gonna say about that one. But I also ended up getting Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney. This one, I've heard a lot of things about this author. I've heard that she's another author that's good for like new to thriller readers like I am, and her writing is very easy to get into, and I think this is one of her newer releases, and it was only $6. This is set 20 years after a baby is stolen and a woman is murdered in a care home. The two crimes are somehow linked together, and a good bad girl may be the key to discovering the truth. I'm intrigued. I've heard really good things about this author, and I'm very excited about this one. When I saw it for $6, I picked it up immediately just because I was so excited for it. And then this one, I was unsure about this one because I've read this author before and it wasn't my favorite, but I'm always willing to give authors a second chance. So I decided to pick up With Love from Cold World by Alicia Thompson. This one is set at a winter themed amusement park in Florida. It follows Lauren, who's the bookkeeper for Cold World, and her co-worker, who is named, does that say Ass? No, Asa? Okay. It's got like a completely different like color font for the names of the characters, and I genuinely thought it said ass. Anyway, they end up meeting through a secret Santa, I'm pretty sure, and it goes from there. So I am hoping I like this one more because it sounds like my issue with her last book was that I'm just not a true crime girly, and I just did not care about the character and her obsession with true crime. So I'm hoping that that means that I might be more into this one because it doesn't feature that as like a big part of the book. So I think the cover's really cute as well, and I'm willing to give it a second chance. Then some really hyped up releases that I was really excited for came out in the past couple of months as well, and there was a lot going on in the past couple of months for new releases. So first up, I ended up getting My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. I still haven't read this one. I was gonna read it over Halloween, but I think I'm just gonna read it like at any time during the year. And this one is about Cassie, who needs a new place to live, and she ends up finding a really cheap place to live, but it's really cheap because a vampire lives there. And I've heard it's like really cheesy but really fun as well, like in the best kind of way, and I think it's going to be something I really enjoy, and I'm excited for it. I don't mind cheesy, and I like kind of like goofy fun romance as well, so I'm actually really excited for this one. Then I picked up Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I also spoke about this one in my latest wrap up, but this one was a 5-star read. Oh my god. This is Ali Hazelwood's latest book. It is her first YA book. I don't want to do another wrap up, but like I just love this book so much, and I'm really glad I got it because amazing, loved it. And then I ended up getting Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I was really excited for this one as well because it follows Russ, who was in the first book in this series, which is Icebreaker. It follows two new characters, so that's Russ and Aurora. And Aurora is a new character in this world. It's set at a holiday camp, and they're both camp counselors, and they have a one-night stand. And then they think they're never going to see each other again, but then they have to work together. And it was really cute, really fun. Also talked about it in my most recent wrap-up as well. And then another book that I was really excited for. I got Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I loved the Dreamland Billionaire series so much. So much. And this book is the first in a brand new series, but it is set in the same town that the third book in the Dreamland Billionaires series was set in. And it is like a childhood friends to enemies to lovers sort of romance. And the guy, I'm pretty sure, is a billionaire now, and the girl is like really famous, and I think she's like in the millions as well. So that's a dynamic I've not read before. I'm just really excited for another series by her because I love the Dreamland Billionaires series so much. It was so much fun. So I'm really looking forward to finishing this one because I've already started it. I'm gonna have to hurry through these next books because I have got to go to the movies in 25 minutes. So I'm gonna rush through these next books and let you know what I got. But the next ones I got were recently released in Australia and traditionally published. I got The Right Move and Mile High by Liz Tomford. I have seen so much hype for these. I am really excited for this series. I think it's gonna be one that I really like. I think they're sports romances as well, and I think this one's hockey, and I think one is football. Well, it says NBA. That's basketball. Yeah, NBA's basketball. So hockey and basketball. Regardless, I've heard really good things, and it has been traditionally published in Australia. So I was hanging out for these to finally come out, and so I got them as well. And then I picked this one up on a complete whim. I got The Book Club Hotel by Sarah Morgan. This one is sort of wintry, and I think it's Christmas themed, but I'm not entirely sure. But I think I might actually wait until it's like winter here in Australia to read this, just because it gives me like cold vibes and it's set in a snowy location. This one looks really cute. I love the cover for this one. It seems to explore friendships a lot as well, which I'm very excited for. So I think it's going to be really good, hopefully. Then I decided to pick up One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I have seen this absolutely everywhere. I've heard it's incredible. I can't figure out whether this is a YA or adult fantasy. I'm very intrigued by the magic system of this so far. I've already started it. There is this mysterious mist that is surrounding the town where the main character lives in, and she has this sort of being inside of her. It's got very gothic vibes. The main character has like a monster in her head as well, which I think is going to be really interesting, and I've heard it's really good, and it's only a duology, so I really like the idea of having a fantasy duology. Then I got Against the Loveless World by Susan Abuhawa. This book is about a woman who is in a Israeli prison, and it says many in the world outside call her a terrorist, but just as many call her a revolutionary and a hero, but the truth is more complicated. She was named for the river her mother crossed when she fled Israel's invasion of Palestine, and grew up into a girl who carried in her bones the desperation of being a refugee. She was a woman who went to Palestine and found books, friends, politics, and a purpose. This is by a Palestinian author, and I really like the sound of this one. I think it's gonna be a really like beautiful story as well, and quite harrowing, and I've heard really good reviews about it as well. So I really wanted to pick up a Palestinian book at least like recently, and I've never read anything by a Palestinian author or with a Palestinian character, and I thought this was a good place to start. And this is sort of one that stood out to me the most with the synopsis and everything, so I'm really excited to get to this one as well. Then I picked up a couple of Junji Ito graphic novels. I got Fragments of Horror and I got Tombs. Don't know too much of what they're about just because I want to eventually get all of Junji Ito stuff, but I got these two recently and I'll probably read them soon. And then I got Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. I think this is a hockey romance. This is the indie version, like the self-published version. I've heard really good reviews of this. I think it looks really cute. Apparently it is really cute. Then this cover is ridiculous. I got the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey. I got this one like a little while ago now, like it was a couple of months ago, but this is 5 books in one. And apparently this is about a woman who is a murderer, and it's meant to be like really unhinged, but apparently it's amazing. So I'm actually really excited for this, but I don't know what to expect. And I think it's like a dark romance where the woman is the murderer and like he's a hero, and I think it's gonna be a little bit fucked up, but I'm excited for it. Then I got Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I'm not gonna lie, I saw a couple of TikToks about this and I really like the sound of it and the fact that it has dragons after reading Fourth Wing, and I ordered it. Like, I think this sounds really cool and I want more stories with dragons in it as well. And it's got little dragons throughout the chapters as well. Like, it's a really pretty book. I think this is the indie edition as well. I think this has now been traditionally picked up by a publisher. Thankfully I got in early because I didn't realize it was going to be traditionally published, but I really like the premise of this and I want more dragon books. And then finally, really quickly, I got Chlorine by Jade Song, and I saw Books and Lala talk about this, what's new, and she loved it and I'm really excited about it. It is a sapphic horror and I'm pretty sure it has mermaids in there as well. It is about Renyu, who was a swimmer, and she longs to become a mermaid, and she dreams of the scent of chlorine and the feel of it on her skin. And I don't know too much else apart from that, but I am very intrigued. And it sounds really weird and apparently is quite strange, but I think that means hopefully I'm going to love it. So I got this one and I'm really excited to read it, hopefully really soon. They are all of the books that I have bought recently in the past few months, and my unboxing, my camera is flashing at me and I am running late, so I am going to leave it there. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below as well. Let me know down in the comments if you think I should start on any of these first, like prioritize any. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.